Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you late, early hours in the morning almost, about 11 p.m. Don't even know what day it is. I'm not going to tell you because I've been up so early, I don't even know. But I think it's Wednesday coming into Thursday. And guys, I've got an awesome guest on today. It's got a very interesting subject, which you guys are going to love. Some of you who understand the mechanics behind it all. And her name is Analicia Archibald, and she's the founder and CEO of a wonderful company called VendorWorks. That's LLC for you people in America who know what LLC is. And she's IT vendor management business services. Been in the industry for a lifetime. Been doing it for herself for 12 years. Brief description of her business. VendorWorks helps businesses streamline their vendor relationships so they can focus on growth, which is very important, guys. You don't grow, you're dying. Instead of paperwork, we manage contracts, ensure compliance, which is very important, keep you out of trouble, assist with procurement and finance, and provide administration support to make vendor operations smooth, transparent, and efficient. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Well, this lady makes it easy, so reach out and have a chat to her. Key achievements or projects. We've helped companies reduce missed contracts, deadlines, improve vendor compliance, streamline procedure processes that save you time and money. You want to save time and money? Reach out and have a virtual cup of coffee. Costs you nothing to have a cup of coffee, guys, and explain what your problem is. And this lady, if she doesn't know, she's probably got someone else who does know, and she'll be able to help you, right? And basically, one of our proudest achievements was implementing a centralized system that tracks every contract and key data for our clients, eliminating costly surprises. They can be very costly, guys, right? Our personal motto, I love it, efficiency, my favorite word, integrity, and partnership. I believe that transparency, it should be, and well-managed vendor relationships benefit everyone from small startups roll up to large enterprises. That's how you become a large enterprise, guys, by being efficient. It is, in fact, about itself. If I could have a superpower, it would be teleportation. Where would you go?
I would go to the Caribbean.
Well, you can do that by working hard, my friend. Working hard.
Yes.
And give yourself a reward.
Absolutely.
Anyone listening out there, always reward yourself, for your key achievements. Take your partner away for a weekend. Have a break. Come back on Monday refreshed, ready to go. You won't. Burnout's a big thing, guys. Don't burn out. All right, Alicia, what we're going to do? We're going to start you off. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to stop working for idiots and go and work for a lunatic and go and work for yourself. How did that all come up?
So I've spent over 10 years working for large Fortune 500 companies where I negotiated multi-million-dollar contracts and drove millions of dollars in savings. Unfortunately, I didn't see any of those savings, so I decided to step out and start my own business.
Nice.
So during my journey, I supported an organization called Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. And while I was in that workshop setting, I realized that small and mid-sized businesses were facing the same challenges, but they didn't have resources or experts to help them manage these challenges.
That's right.
So that's what inspired me to launch VendorWorks.
Yeah, and the truth be known, guys, you'd reach out to someone like her previous company, they'd charge you $500 an hour. And she charges a fifth of that. So there you go. Now you've actually got access to help small business. You've got access to not the big boys, but you've got someone who used to be with the big boys who knows, all what goes on behind the scenes. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that, Alicia?
I think the toughest part of vendor management is just the general complexity. So vendors bury risk in fine prints and inflated costs and overpromise on services.
Yeah.
And then I realized by creating vendor frameworks and vendor scorecards and then just random checkpoints based on data analytics that we can shine light on what's really happening so that business owners can have visibility and then gain that confidence to hold their vendors accountable.
Fair enough. Tell us an important moment in your career where was that aha moment where you thought, I'm going to change direction? What happened?
My turning point was when I realized that I was saving millions for Fortune 500 companies, but
Yep.
small businesses were being crushed by bad vendor deals.
Nice.
And they didn't know that they could negotiate or push back or structure contracts to protect themselves. So that's when I just decided to step out of the corporate world and launch VendorWorks because I wanted to give small businesses and those mid-sized
A
businesses the
voice. Yep.
same leverage and protection that big companies have.
Very nice. Very, very well. You're leaving a legacy, my friend. In your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have contributed to your amazing success? What do you believe they are?
The first one is definitely negotiation. So knowing when to
Nice.
push or when to compromise,
Mm.
how to frame value so vendors can listen.
Yeah.
The second one would be data-driven decision making. So always bring numbers to the table because everyone is always attracted to numbers.
Yes.
And then the third is always communication, which is
Very
universal.
important.
So
Yeah, very important.
yeah,
And the last one you've got in spades would be integrity.
yeah.
You can people rely on you for your integrity and your empathy. You're a good listener. We had a good chat earlier, and you're a good listener. Um, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field? What's your secret there?
What keeps me motivated? So I like to see small businesses turn
In-
their finances around
yeah.
just by renegotiating a vendor contract.
Yes.
To innovate, I think businesses need to stay sharp on compliance changes and explore automation to cut out the manual work, which eats up a lot of their times.
Mm.
And most importantly, I enjoy listening to client stories.
Yep.
Their pain point, it sparks conversation for solutions. And that's what VendorWorks try to help you work through is those pain points when it comes to working with third-party vendors.
Yeah, I love it. Guys, I'm going to save a lot of you 10% minimum. Imagine that. If you've got $1 million turnover, I'm just going to make you 100,000 in the next 2 minutes. I've done this. I used to have Australia's largest catering company, food business. And what I used to do every 6 months, I'd ring up all my suppliers with many, let's say 40. I'd ring them all up and say, Fred, things are a bit tough for me, whether they were or they weren't. And what I need to do, I'm looking at some other suppliers. Would you be able to shave, and help me out? Would you be able to shave 10% off the price, what we're doing? Because otherwise, I like your service, I like what you do, but you appreciate I've got to stay in business. I've got to look around. I've got to have a look at other options. And more often than not, on the phone, then and there, they gave me a 10% discount on further until, for the next X amount of months. So it was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Just by asking, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the sort of thing that Alicia here could help you with as well, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of amongst your many. Tell us one you're particularly proud of, please.
So one that recently happened was with a small business in Baltimore. So I was brought in to support them with IT support contract that was set in stone. And then we started having conversations and we realized that their food service provider was basically screwing them over and they needed to renegotiate a contract that was nowhere close to IT.
Yeah.
So I jumped in, being the person that I am, and we renegotiated that contract and added stronger service level expectation. And we cut their annual costs by, I believe it was either 15 or 18%.
Nice.
And
Wow.
what resonated with me was when the business owner was like, I didn't even know we could ask for this. And I'm like, you can ask for anything.
Exactly.
The worst that can happen is someone will tell you no.
That's right.
But you can always ask.
And sometimes no means not now or not yet.
Right.
Keep at it. And if that company had $1 million turnover, you'd just say to them 180,000. You realise that?
Right.
And God Almighty, that's how it happens, guys. It's possible. Just open your mind and reach out to this lady. If you've got a business, no questions too small or too silly, guys. Reach out, have a chat. That's the worst you can do, right? Tell us, what advice would you give a 20-year-old version of you who walks in the door, your daughter or someone, and she says, I've just finished uni. What should I do with myself? What would you tell them?
So I am a parent of twin girls.
Right.
And I always tell them to build their communication skills because contracts and compliance only matters if you're able to communicate it to people so that they can understand it.
Yeah, both sides.
And don't
Yeah.
be afraid to specialize. So vendor management, it didn't sound flashy to me when I started, but it is a game changer for businesses. And I didn't realize it was a niche. At the time, I just thought this was a need, so I'll just go to work and make my paycheck. But I realized that it was a niche that's needed, and I decided to own it.
Lovely. You've done that well. Well, I'd tell people, get a mentor. I'd tell people two things. I'd tell them, get a mentor like somebody like yourself, and you can. She's Vanessa, Alicia, not Vanessa, has done all this, guys. And basically, what can happen? She can shave 5 or 10 years off the journey. She's been there. She's seen behind the scenes. She knows all this stuff, right? And the other thing I'd say, guys, travel. Travel broadens your mind. If you get a chance to travel, get a passport, travel. You know, the opportunities you'll see, the people you'll meet, it'll open up your eyes, right? You know, it's a big world out there. Just get out of your own. Some of you people haven't been out of your own suburb, let alone been out of your own state, right? But get out there and travel, guys. Have some fun. Looking ahead, you're only at base camp now. So, what are your goals and aspirations for the future when you're climbing that mountain? What are you trying to achieve?
So I want to scale VendorWorks into being the go-to vendor management partner for small and mid-sized businesses. I'm building tools and frameworks and partnering with other platforms to make vendor governance more accessible and affordable. I'm sure no one wants to spend like $50,000 for a vendor management platform. So there are organizations out there that's willing to give small business discounts and other things. And then personally, I want to mentor the next wave of vendor management professionals because the field needs more voices, especially young women in the field that they just can't figure out where to go. I think, vendor management and that negotiation aspect is such a good starting point in a career.
Yeah, very, very nice, my friend. What's the best way for people watching this wonderful podcast and listening? What's the best way to reach out and find out more about what you do? What's the best way to do that?
So I do have a LinkedIn page available. So it's VendorWorks LLC. And I also have a website, www.vendorworks.
I noticed it on the screen. That's very good.
Yeah. So it's vendorworkshub.com. Yeah. And then you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn, on the website. And then we're growing. So eventually we'll be on Facebook and other platforms. So keep an eye out for those notifications.
Lovely. Tell me, are you up for a chat? Can people ring up and get 10 or 15 minutes of your advice without you charging them a fortune?
Oh, I won't.
Right. Fantastic. So the office here, guys, you can reach out to this lovely lady. And if you've got a problem or a question, whatever, and I said earlier, she doesn't know. She'll know someone who does know. That's what collaboration's all about, guys, and communication. So reach out. Before we wrap this wonderful show up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know, please.
Oh, fun fact. I think you've captured it before.
Yeah, which was?
Just having that superpower. I would love to teleport. When I have some downtime, just teleport to the beach in the Caribbean and then teleport back to work during my lunch hour.
That's nice, eh? I spoke to a client the other day. I was so jealous. She told me she was in Switzerland. I don't know my geography. So I asked her, what are your borders? Right? Interesting. Yeah. And she said, and I didn't know, Germany, Italy, and France. And I thought, how cool is that? Oh. For the weekend, you go and have a pizza in Italy. Next week, you go and have a couple of nice lagers in Germany. The next week, you go over to a romantic weekend away with your partner in Paris. So it's pretty cool, eh? And always not as good as teleporting, but nearly.
Right.
I thought that was bloody awesome. Right. But guys, thanks for being on the show today, Alicia. You've done a wonderful job. And guys, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, don't forget to reach out. That's what it's all about. 15 minutes of fame. Reach out. We'd love to tell you what we do and put you all over what we do. We put you on Quora. We put you on Reddit. We put you on LinkedIn. We put you on our Facebook group, 6,500 business people. And we also put you across YouTube, sorry, with all your social media links. So it's all out there for you guys. And once again, you've been an awesome guest today. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's been a pleasure.